Hello YouTube, hope you're all doing well. So I've got another review for you today, guys. Before I get into it, just want to say a very quick thanks to everybody that checked out my first video, all of you that left comments, everybody that gave me a thumbs up, everyone that subscribed. Some of you sent me really nice messages. Thanks so much, guys. It really gave me an incentive to carry on and do more videos. So today's review. So I don't even know where to start with this one, to be honest. I'm going to try and be subjective, but I absolutely love this one. And as you can see from what's on the camera, there's not many from this house that I don't like. So what one am I going to do? To be fair, it's not going to be a mystery because you can see what the title of the video is. So I'll just show you. It's going to be Chanel Egoiste or Egoiste, depending on what you prefer. I think Egoiste is correct, not 100% sure. So, Egoiste, the perfumer is Jacques Polge, and he's been the chief perfumer at Chanel for 35 years. And he's done the majority of the men's line. So he did the whole of the Allure line, he did Bleu de Chanel, Antaeus, Platinum Egoiste, he did the Coco line, he did the exclusives. So his resume is pretty good. And after 35 years as head of perfume at Chanel, he still cites Egoiste as being his best creation. So it's got to say something. So the story behind this one. So apparently Jacques Polge was researching older fragrances that preceded his time at Chanel. And he came across an idea by another designer called Ernest Beau. And Beau was the guy that did Chanel No. 5. And the idea was a fragrance called Bois Noir. And it was a formula that was dominated by sandalwood. Now at this time, Polge was working on a fragrance that was supposed to coincide with the launch of a fashion line, a new Chanel fashion line. But the fashion line never actually happened, but the fragrance still went ahead. So they released it under the original name, which was Bois Noir, but it only went into the Chanel boutiques. So it had limited sort of distribution. But after 3 years, they decided they wanted to go mainstream with this. So they repackaged it, redesigned it, stuck it into retail, and called it Le Egoiste, which was the original version of Egoiste. They actually chucked a ton of money at this with advertising and marketing campaigns. You've probably seen the TV advert, it's a phenomenal advert. But essentially the product didn't sell and it was a commercial failure. So, I mean, I think this is a fragrance that probably has gained more appreciation over time. You know, you can see how people wouldn't like this one. It's really distinctive. It's obviously designer fragrances are created to have mass appeal. And you guys know this, you know. But top notes on designer fragrances are nearly always inoffensive. Because the buying decision at retail is made in the early stages. You know, unless you're like us guys that walk around town for 3 or 4 hours waiting for a dry down, most people will buy a fragrance based on the first 30 seconds. So, I mean, this isn't like that. It's more like a niche fragrance in that regard because it's not conformist, it's not safe, it's a proper hit-you-in-the-face fragrance. It oozes man, this one. You know, it's not aquatic or marine, it couldn't be less. It gets called dated, it gets called, in inverted commas, 80s powerhouse frag, even though it was launched in 1990. It's not, it's much better than that. It's a hugely complex fragrance, it's well blended, it's rounded. The word Egoiste actually is from French and it means selfish, and I think that's a really good name for this because this is a fragrance that I wear for myself, so it fits really well. So let's take a look at the presentation, try to focus this a bit better. That's better. So here's the bottle. This is actually a 50ml. I normally go for 100ml, but I got a good deal on this and the other ones behind it. So really classy, sleek, good sturdy glass bottle. Let's have a look at the bottom. Let's see if we can get in a bit closer on that. There you go, Chanel. Okay, cap. Proper robust cap. Nice and sturdy. Sprayer. Nice looking silver sprayer. Let's have a look at the spray. It's okay. Not great. Seen better, seen worse. Here's the box. Very minimalist. Very classy, sleek. Here's your information here. So yeah, it does a job and it's really nice. So let's get into the description of this. We'll dig down into it. For me, it's either a woody spicy or a woody oriental. If you have a look at the notes, it's quite difficult to separate these out because depending on where you look, the notes are different in terms of what's in the mid, what's in the top of this, and it's actually really hard for me to distinguish between the top and the mid. You can pick up what's in the base a lot easier. So top notes are Sicilian tangerine, or you may see Sicilian mandarin. Depends where you look, and I think actually the formulations differ. I think the early formulations were mandarin. whereas we've got tangerine now. You've got Brazilian rosewood, mahogany. In the mid, you've got coriander, damask rose, carnation and cinnamon. And in the base, you've got sandalwood, which is the dominant note in there. You've got vanilla, amberette seed, and then you've got some leather. I looked up amberette seed because I didn't have a clue what it was, and it actually comes from a yellow flowered shrub, a purple scented yellow flower. And the seeds are used to create a musk smell, so it's obviously a plant-based musk rather than animal musk that we're used to. It is detectable, but it's smoother, it's less harsh than the normal musk that we'd think of. If you like gourmands, there may be something in this for you. Don't get me wrong, it's not a gourmand at all, but there's lots of vanilla in it and there's also cinnamon. So it's sweet in places and it kind of, in stages of the fragrance, it has a gourmand feel to it. I'm not a lover of big, strong vanilla fragrances. This doesn't smell like what you may think. You know, it's not like the vanilla in Le Male, for example. It's hard to explain, but it's better than that. So don't be put off if you don't like vanilla. So, what does it actually smell like? It really is a hard one to explain. It's really complex and it's got so many levels to it. It's definitely very woody. It's spicy. It's floral. It's got a fantastic vanilla and sandalwood base. It's really warm. So when I wear it, it almost feels like it's wrapping its arms around you and giving you a hug. I know it sounds odd, but that's kind of what you get from it. It's comforting. It's a fragrance for the confident man, this one. If you don't wear this with confidence, it will end up wearing you instead. You know, you're going to get mixed opinions on this, perhaps more than you will with other scents. So for that reason, it's not really probably a good office scent. Having said that, it does have a professional air to it. So you know, I wouldn't have any problems wearing it with a suit, but it is a love or hate. You know, I don't see it as being a fragrance for the under 30s unless you're a real mature guy. And I don't think it's a fragrance in inverted commas that many people would like. I think it's a fragrance people will either love or they'll hate. So, comparisons. It does get compared to a few things. It gets compared to another Chanel fragrance called Bois d'Azil. And it also gets compared to Calvin Klein's Contradiction. I can't comment on Bois d'Azil because I haven't smelt it. It doesn't resemble Contradiction to me. It does get compared to Muscat Ravageur. There are some similarities. They've both got vanilla in there, they've both got cinnamon, and they're both prominent sandalwood fragrances. And they also have musk in there, albeit different types. So I can see that similarity. For me, I get a similarity to Andy Tauer's L'air des Américains. They don't smell alike, they just both give off something similar. It's probably the coriander, the way the coriander's blended, and they both also have rose in there, albeit different types. So there's a similar spiciness to them. I mean, don't go and buy this and expect it to smell like L'air des Américains, because it doesn't. It's just a similar vibe. Number of sprays on this, you know, I'd go 2, 3. I'm an oversprayer, but this one's a powerhouse, and you're going to choke people out if you go too big on this. Performance-wise, beast mode. Yeah, this one lasts all day for me, and I've got poor performing skin. I've had one spray on my arm for the last 6 hours, and I've got my arm by my side and I can still smell it. So it's projecting really well. Sillage is awesome. If you've been in the room, somebody goes in there 10 minutes after you've left, they'll be able to smell it still. So let's rate it. So projection and sillage, said beast mode, 9.5 out of 10. Longevity, same again, lasts all day, 9.5 out of 10. Smell, very strong, 9 out of 10. And overall, I'm giving it 9 out of 10. I don't give out many 10s. I've only got probably 3 fragrances in my whole collection that I'll give a 10. So 9 is a really, really good score. Price-wise, so Egoiste actually disappeared from the shelves in the UK for years. Our main resellers are, we have Debenhams, John Lewis, House of Fraser, Selfridges, and Egoiste has only recently appeared back on the shelves of all those stores. It's only been available in boutiques for recent years. So I've stocked up on this before it disappears again. The retail prices are £46 for 50ml and £64 for 100ml. That translates to $70 for 50ml and $97 for 100ml. Obviously it's based on the UK price. It may well be different over in the States. You're not going to get much better than that price because Egoiste doesn't appear on any of the normal discount sites. But what I will say is, have a look around, because Debenhams, John Lewis, all these stores are constantly in a battle at the moment to get your business, and every week one or the other will kick off a 10% off, and then the others will follow suit. So you're going to pick this up for around £41, £57 with that 10% off. I nearly always, with all fragrances, will go with a bigger bottle if the price per milliliter is that much, milliliter even, is that much better, because you know, you can buy it and you can easily decant some, you can sell it on eBay, and then you'll still end up with 50ml left, but your net cost will be so much lower because what you've made on what you've sold. So have a think about that. That's me done, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, hope it was informative. Thanks ever so much for tuning in again. I'll have another review out soon. Haven't decided what it will be yet. It won't be a review. I'm going to probably do a top 10 or something like that kind of thing, just to do something different. But thanks again for looking, guys, and I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers.